fight like a roaring fight, grit during dreams under stadium lights, sweat and fire, hearts ignite. Evening sports buffet, with the Ginch replay. Highlights, wild scores collide, it's the riot live tonight.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's hump day. Guess what day it is, Mike? It is Wednesday, September 17th. Welcome to another edition of Early Inning Sports Buffet with Ginch. And said Ginch, I'm your host, Ryan Neff. We are a day out from week 3 of the NFL season. Yes, tomorrow the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins will be playing. But again, thanks for tuning in out there, internet land. And again, Buffalo and Miami will kick off week 3 tomorrow. And again, I really wish they'd stop with the Thursday night bullshit with the NFL. And I've said this before. I'm even a proponent of getting rid of Monday Night Football, because if you're not a fan of the teams that are playing, no one's going to stay up for it. Just play all the games on Sunday. But people would have a conniption fit if they can't watch football 7 days a week. So, but again, thank you for tuning in. Let's just get right to some of the news and notes of the day. The District of Columbia, that's right, DC Council signs off on Commanders' RFK Stadium project to return the Commanders, or whatever the hell they're going to call themselves, RFK Stadium project. Back to RFK. Back to the return of the original. The council voted 11-2 on Wednesday to approve the RFK Stadium project, allowing the team to return to the site it called home for more than 3 decades. So, out with the old, in with the old new, is basically what it is. So we'll see what happens. What are they going to do with the name? Are they going to change it back? Are they not going to change it back? But they're going back to the original site of RFK. I was pleased to see this. The NCAA has eliminated the spring transfer portal window for football. Thank God. Thank God. It's a step in the right direction as far as the transfer portal. I've said this before on this show and on Student Body Right. The only transfer portal window. You play the whole season, play the national championship game. After the national championship game, then you have a 10-day window from which to transfer. Then it's done. This is reported by Max Olson. Espen. The Division I Administrative Committee voted to approve a legislative change that eliminates the spring transfer window, but did not sign off on establishing the January 2nd to 11th as the loan portal window for FBS and FCS players. Again, January 2nd to January 11th is crap. You wait till the national championship game is over, then you start the transfer portal window. And the only one, but it's a step in the right direction, because the whole transfer thing in spring during bowl season, bunch of bullshit, as far as I'm concerned. New York Liberty's Brianna Stewart, she is starting tonight despite her knee injury. She has a, what did they say, an MCL sprain. MRI confirmed that, but I'm sure she'll play through it, get an injection, so she can get out there. Kyler Murray is sorry for his post about his Vic jersey and the Bulldog. I don't know if you saw this. He apologized on Wednesday for a social media post that included a photo of him wearing a retro Virginia Tech Michael Vick jersey while posing with one of his 2 Bulldogs. If you remember, back in 2007, Michael Vick pled guilty to cruelty to animals and dogfighting. So you better watch what you wear in that aspect. because it might be offensive. Oh, what else here? The Chicago the Chicago Cubs. They've clinched their first playoff berth since 2020. I'm sure Chicago Cubs fans are excited about that. See what happens in said playoffs, which are going to be starting here soon. Baker Mayfield says Bucks won't be phased by teams like Texans. If you saw this too, it's reported by Jenna Lane of ESPN. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Buccaneers quarterback Baker Mayfield was asked Wednesday to recount his 3rd and 10 scramble against the Texans, in which he got caught by defensive end Will Anderson Jr., immediately clutched his left leg, then sprang up and started jawing with safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson. We don't take shit from anybody. That's what it's all about, Mayfield said. If you followed Baker throughout his career, even when he was at Oklahoma, he has a propensity for being a little bit too emotional. And that's just who he is. It's not going to change. But if that's the way he wants to act and that's the way he wants to do, more power to him. Mr. Dilling Spalding says, Neff, that would be me. I am said Ginch. Some other NFL news. The 49ers say Brock Purdy has the Ginch, yes. Let's throw it up there. The Ginch. That's me, the Ginch. Old high school nickname. Given to me by one of Dylan Spalding. Also says, I'm the Grinch and you're the Ginch. That's all you have to do is drop the R. And I am said Ginch. Like I said, Brock Purdy has a chance to start against the Cards. We'll see. We'll see. That's not like Mac Jones played horribly against the Saints. I know he had a couple. Well, he didn't play bad. So let's not rush him back too soon. I know it's the Cardinals. They're both 2-0. Important game in the NFC West. I'm sorry, NFC West. I'm sure they will try and get him out there as quickly as they can, but they want to be cautious. Sean McVay has avoided surgery with his plantar fasciitis, or not plantar fasciitis. So he actually tore something. It's anybody who's had a plantar fasciitis or plantar fascia issue. Fucking hurts. It's painful. The Cincinnati Bengals have said they're not ruling out Burrow for a return later this year. And Dylan Spalding says, yes, the Mac attack. We have, yes, Mac Jones sighting, filling in for Brock Purdy. But Burrow's going to be out 3 months. I'm sure he'll do everything he can to come back. Hopefully Browning does not get hurt, and hopefully he can hold down the fort, because they're going to need every possible point that they can get with that defense. Although the defense played well against the Browns. Not so much this past weekend, but hopefully they can hold down the fort. Maybe get him back for a playoff run. ESPN came out with their rankings, their top 10 in the NFL. They're 32 on down to 1 after week 2. The 10th ranked team have Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2-0. I don't like saying 2-0. It's not a no, it's a 0. 2-0. They have the Commanders ranked 9th, 1-1. Not sure I'd have the Commanders ranked 9th after the showing against the Packers. They have the Chiefs at number 8. They're 0-2. Ladies and gentlemen, even as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, the Kansas City Chiefs should not be ranked 8th. They're not a good football team, period. I picked the Giants to win this weekend. I'm not a homer. I see. It's the eye test, ladies and gentlemen. The eye test. Chiefs have no running game. They're old. I've said this before. GM Brett Veach did nothing to improve this team in the offseason. Offensive line was patchwork. Running backs, Kelsey's older, Mahomes is older, Chris Jones is older. They're just old. Yeah, the Chargers ranked 7th at 2-0. The Chargers continue to play hardball ball, which is ground and pound you to death. Play solid defense. And so far, through the first 2 weeks, it's worked. They have the Lions 5th at 1-1 after the shellacking of the Bears. I'm not so sure I'd have Detroit ranked 5th. They have a Ravens ranked 4th. They're 1-1. They have the Packers ranked 3rd. They are 2-0. Which I think right now they might be the most complete team. They have the Eagles 2nd, 2-0. They have the Buffalo Bills ranked 1st, 2-0. I would actually have the Packers ranked 1st. Then maybe the Eagles 2nd. That's according to them. Let's go to Major League Baseball, shall we? I went over the standings on Monday. No need to go over them again. Scores from yesterday. Braves beat the Nats 6-3. The Cubs beat the Pirates 4-1. Guardians beat the Tigers 7-5. Tigers tailing off here. The Guardians are sneaking up on them, by the way. And then the Braves, second half of the doubleheader, final in 10 innings. Figure this one out. The score was 0-0 going into the 10th, and the Braves scored 5 runs in the top of the 10th. The Athletics beat the Red Sox 2-1. The Padres fell to the Mets 8-3. Blue Jays beat the Rays 6-5. Brewers beat the Angels 9-2. Orioles over the White Sox 8-7. Yankees over the Twins in a barn burner 10-9. Mariners pounded the Royals 12-5. The Cardinals over the Reds 3-0. Astros over the Rangers in a big series. They beat them 6-5. Marlins over the Rockies 6-5. Diamondbacks beat the Giants 6-4, and the Phillies beat the Dodgers 9-6. On the slate today, earlier today, the Cubs beat the Pirates 8-4. The Reds beat the Cardinals 6-2. Orioles beat the White Sox 3-1. Giants beat the Diamondbacks 5-1. Rays beat the Nationals 9-4. You are watching me, I forgot to mention this at the top of the show, on the Cole County Entertainment Network. A big shout out to Tom and Norm and Fuji. Right now, bottom of the 5th, the Guardians are up on the Tigers 1-0. Again, the Guardians are creeping up on the Tigers. Don't look now, Detroit. Red Sox over the Athletics, top of the 5th, 2-1. Bottom of the 3rd, top of the 3rd. The Rays over the Blue Jays 1-0. Bottom of the 4th, Padres and the Mets are tied at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 2nd, the Angels and Brewers are scoreless. End of the 2nd, Royals up with the Mariners 3-2. Top of the 1st, 0-0 Rangers and the Stros. A rain delay out there in Colorado, Marlins and Rockies scoreless. And then later on, Phillies at the Dodgers. Again, this will be a quick show tonight. Where was I going here? WNBA. Scores from yesterday. Fever beat the Dream at 77-60 to tie that series up at 1 apiece. The Storm with a big win over the Aces, 86-83. That ties that series at 1 apiece. Today, right now, in the first, the Liberty are up on the Mercury 15-9. That's in the first. Later on, Lynx at the Valkyries. Lynx trying to close them out. Obviously, the Liberty will try to close out the Mercury tonight. I went over some NASCAR news and notes the other day. Bristol Motor Speedway. We are 3 races in the playoffs. Trying to look up where they go next. Not showing me for some odd reason. And of course, my Verizon pad is starting to buffer again. We don't like buffering. I don't like buffering on this show. For some odd reason, it's not showing me where to go next, and it's aggravating. Dylan, if you're still watching, you're the race reporter. Where do they go next? Give me just a second. This is bothering me. Oh, they're at New Hampshire Motor Speedway next. Short track. 2:00 start. NASCAR needs to stop the 2:00 starts and the 3:00 starts on Sundays. Start at 1:00 like it used to be. But no, they won't do it because of sponsors and all this other shit. NBA news. The NBA's European League could start in 2027 or 2028, according to NBA's Adam Silver, the commish. No timeline has been finalized, reported by the Associated Press. So we'll see in 2027 or 2028 if the NBA European League kicks off. And some of this other stuff I've already been through. No big time news. NHL and NBA camps fastly approaching. Some NHL news. Associated Press. NHL teams are unsure of future for players acquitted of sexual assault. You remember, there were a bunch of them. Again, where to put AP after Philadelphia general manager Dan Barriere said the Flyers would not be bringing back Carter Hart. Edmonton counterpart Stan Bowman echoed the sentiment Wednesday that the Oilers would not be pursuing the goaltender. So this will follow them. I know they were acquitted, but this will follow them wherever they go, even though they were acquitted. It'll still follow them from now until the time they leave this earth. I forgot to do this the other day with college football. And now I have to. My best bets of the week. If I can find my phone here. I forgot to go over my best bets. I am like 22-11 on the year. The first one I have is Texas Tech and Utah. I am taking the over. Right now, the over understands at last time I checked, it's still 57.5. So I'm taking the Texas Tech Utah game. It's a noon kickoff on Fox. The spread's 57.5. I am going with the over. Some people think it'll be a defensive battle. Not so sure. At 12 p.m. on ESPNU, we have UNLV traveling to take on Miami of Ohio. UNLV is favored by 2.5. Give me the UNLVs minus the 2.5. Going down the list, Tennessee coming off the heartbreaking loss to Georgia. You would expect some sort of letdown. I think they're going to be aggravated. UAB comes to town. Spread's 38.5 to total 69.5. I'm laying the points with Tennessee, and I'm going over the total 69.5. At 3:30 p.m. on ABC, I'm sorry, ACC Network, Kent State travels to take on number 7 Florida State. Tennessee was ranked 15th, by the way. Texas Tech 17th, Utah is 16th. Florida State's laying 44.5 to Kent State. Forget about it. Kent State probably will not score. I'm laying the points with Florida State. 44.5. Give me Florida State to cover. Going down my list here. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Troy travels to take on Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 6.5. Buffalo struggled this past weekend with, I think it was, who was it? Was it Akron or Kent State? I'm taking Troy plus the 6.5 over Buffalo. As we continue to go down the list, 4:30 p.m. on the CW network. Temple's traveling to take on number 18 Georgia Tech. Spread is 23.5. Temple at home got drubbed by Oklahoma. Georgia Tech will be riding high off the win at Clemson. They will be looking to prove a point that was no fluke. They're going to hammer Temple. I'm laying the 23.5. I'm taking Georgia Tech. As I continue to go down the list here, looking for the next game. 4:15 p.m. on the SEC network. Northern Illinois travels to take on Mississippi State, 3-0. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Pleasant surprise for the Bulldog fans. Mississippi State's laying 21.5. I think Mississippi State much improved. I'm taking Mississippi State, and I'm laying the 21.5. As I continue to go down the list here, 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. Marshall's traveling to take on Middle Tennessee. Marshall favored by 2.5. I think Marshall will win the game outright. So I'm laying the 2.5, and I'm taking Marshall. As I continue to go down the list, ESPNU, 7:30 p.m. Georgia State travels to take on number 20 Vanderbilt, who is undefeated. Vanderbilt favored by 27.5. Big win against South Carolina. I think Vanderbilt, again, out to prove a point. Style points matter. I am laying the 27.5. Vanderbilt beats Georgia State. And I know there's a couple else who's going to take that game. I was going to take Utah State, but there is no point spread on it. And the only other one I had here, I was going to go Idaho. That's where retired hookers go, by the way, Idaho. But there's no spread on that one either. Nope. No spread. It's Idaho at San Jose State, 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But again, no spread on the game. I think that might do it for the day, tonight. I'll go back to the WNBA right away here. Update. We are late in the first period. Right now, it is all tied up, 25 apiece. Mercury trying to stay alive. Go back to the baseball scores here real quick. Give you an update on those before I check out. It's my iPad buffers. I will enjoy a sip of my beverage. It continues to buffer. I don't know what it is about this area that I'm in and the internet service, but it blows. It does this every like 10 minutes where it just the little circle. Yeah, some updates. Guardians still up on the Tigers 1-0. Athletics 4-2 over the Red Sox. Rays still 1-0 over the Blue Jays. Padres Mets still tied 2-2. Brewers now hammering the Angels at 5-zip. Yankees Twins tied 2-2. Royals over the Mariners 3-2. Rangers Stros scoreless. Marlins Rockies scoreless. So again, I'm gonna end it there. I will see everybody tomorrow night on another edition of Early Eating Sports Buffet with the Ginch. As I say at the end of every show, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, practice compassion, practice empathy, have passion for what you do. Hug somebody once in a while. You might make their day. Tell somebody you love them. You might not get the second opportunity with the crazy shit that's going on in the world. And lastly, if you see somebody struggling, for the love of Christ, inquire, ask questions. You see somebody that's alone or being bullied or they just doesn't seem right, ask, inquire, maybe get them some help. You might not just be saving a life, you might be saving a lot of lives. So I will see everybody tomorrow, hopefully pre-Buffalo Miami. I think Buffalo's going to beat the shit out of them. But what do I know? I just do this dog and pony show. So don't take what I say to heart. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only one thing left to do, as I do at the end of every show. Dandy Don, take me out.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.